quite right. De la Vega is a ruthless and ambitious jackal. I fear that these are dark days for Calabria. But you did act wisely, and I'm glad that you came to me with this information. No reason to put yourself in harm's way. Let us discuss the manner of exercising these spirits from your dreams. And at that, I'm going to ask specifically, do you have a gift in mind, a role,
consecration
perhaps?
does this.
Consecration, all right.
There's also a thaumaturge can also dispel it.
Okay.
Yeah, severance would work, probably.
Is there a role involved, or is it an automatic
also
thing?
From a psychological point of view, I delivered it. Like I said, the curse is one that's usually mental on me. If they could also convince me that I did it and I'm not worthy of being cursed, that would also work.
Gotcha. All right. Then there's definitely something. There's definitely something they can do for you there. Here's where it gets a little bit metagamey, but and I'm curious for feedback here. If you do exercise it away, I don't know if I want to give you the gift for completing that. This might be my own bias coming in now, but
that's fine.
Yeah.
If the goal was to deliver it to what the spirits want, I'm willing to blow this off the quest list. I'm willing to Borderlands this.
And that's totally
Screw these
yeah.
guys.
Okay, cool. That's definitely your prerogative then.
No, if that's the price to pay, I'll totally take that. Screw you guys. Stupid.
Cool. Okay.
I'm not getting involved in like necromancy is like plutonium. You don't want to get this stuff on you.
Right, exactly. All right.
I have enough going on.
Certainly. All right, then unless there is a role involved in that in consecration, I assume we're just going to give you a little exercising. And let's say this probably takes a night, right? That's one of the limitations. You can get back to the group.
Better. So I'm gonna so I'm gonna go ahead and burn a day on this.
Right. Cool. Okay. But I will say this also can be a day of rest. So I believe you were injured, right? So you can add that to your track, and they'll provide you food and everything.
I might actually treat my injuries while I'm here.
Right. What is that now? They roll a d6.
That's called charity. Let me look it up. There's two kinds of healing in the game. There's charity, where they heal you for free, but there's a line. That is, I get to roll an extra 2d6.
Cool.
So the bed rest is automatic, and that's one success. So yay, that's 2 out of 24.
All right, we're well on our way. It is a game that I think does take into consideration that like long stretches of time should pass at certain points to overcome these kinds of things.
There's certain things in the game that we wrote narrative, especially like if you hurt someone, it's a huge pain in the butt to get rid of it. It also means they actually you could hurt someone, so they have to go to a doctor to get help.
Yeah.
It was something that wanted to be a plot element in the games.
Yeah, and I like that because it does kind of drive the narrative based on the mechanics, which is something that happens a lot.
I don't know everybody's into that.
Oh yeah, and that's one of the things I really do. I crave, and I like that Ironclaw does provide it. All right then. So let's see. We are going to. I think I want to take a brief siesta, just so that I can look up a couple of points on your journeys, on your journey northeast towards Harmonie. French pronunciation. Harmony. We'll just go with that. We'll just call it the city of Harmony, town of Harmony.
Each one of the cities is named after one of the 8 virtues.
You know what? I didn't realize that, but that totally follows. We've got I have some honesty.
In the book.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so you guys mind 5-minute break? Come back at 12.
That's good.
12. All right. I'm going to go on mute, but I will be right back.
Okay. They didn't roll lower than any of the rest of my other dice, which that's already a 33% chance just to roll higher than 8.
You just got unlucky.
Yeah, I just got unlucky a lot of times. Happens.
It happens.
I could have also just chosen to be dying and someone saves me later.
I mean, it's fair, but, past history of Anushka, you didn't want to risk that either.
Well, no coward.
I was considering coming by and doing first aid, but you said you were dead. I can't do first aid in the dead.
But no, he meant if he had accepted dying and didn't tap his combat save.
Yeah, if the second time I was hit in the whole exchange, the first time I was stabbed with the spear, I would have been dying, at which point then I could have been first aid.
At the same time, though.
But I'd be out of the fight.
Yeah, at that time, you'd also be risking rolling your body every turn, which could also lead to your death.
One of the problems which I discovered with combat save is that sometimes it's better to go down than it is to tap the combat save.
Yeah.
Which you can only do once. Once again, the problems where in theory it's supposed to work, but in practice,
hey, my solution to the problem.
You sell it back.
I sell it back.
No combat save.
Yeah.
And I guess
no safety net means no safety net.
That's true. I guess also one circumstance out of the 100 circumstances involved in this would be specifically being targeted while I'm already afraid and guarding versus the new fresh person who's running in and guarding.
Yeah, but we live in a world where people... Yeah, we live in a world where
so the guy was just
rally.
out for blood, so we got blood.
They're out to kill us. They wanted to kill you guys, and they said, hey, this guy's hurt. I probably can kill him. And they killed him. So...
Yep.
It makes sense.
I try to roleplay a little bit. In combats, I have had a history of pulling punches and regretting it. Cat, get off my desk. So in the moment it made sense.
Hey.
I have regrets all the time.
As long as we go into that expecting that. I think that's what confuses a lot of people about role-playing games. That sometimes the question is whether characters should be allowed to die or not, because some people will tell you they shouldn't be.
Some people want that.
And here it was totally in Gaston's power to save his life. Instead, he chose to do risky things. The risk didn't pay out, and he died. And I'm perfectly okay with the consequence because I got into the game thinking maybe I'll die.
I will always feel bad if I feel like my GM is pulling punches on me. I want to get the full punch.
Right.
Oh yeah, Theta just wants to die. Just kill him.
Theta wants the experience that death is a possibility, because it's not a possibility. I mean, I went on to complain about Mass Effect because I was playing Mass Effect and it's like, hey guys, I can't fall off the roof. I said, what do you mean? I mean, I can't. I'm on the roof and there's an invisible wall.
Yeah.
And people were wondering, why are you complaining about that? It's like, this is supposed to be a dramatic rooftop encounter where people are shooting at me, but I could literally just stand here for 30 minutes and nothing bad will happen to me and I can't actually die. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that happens in a lot of video games. And I was frustrated because it's like, I don't feel like I'm in any actual danger. But that's another hand, am I supposed to? And some people would rather not fall off the roof.
Some people would rather not. I personally think that there's a lot of mechanics and a lot of time that goes into combat in these games. And if there's actually no fail state, for me, it's a mental thing, then there's no point. It's all wasted effort. So there needs to be some kind of consequence, narrative or otherwise. And that's the philosophy I go in with.
As long as it's informed. That was the theory behind combat save and personality, which you can also tap. Anushka specifically has luck because she's not a combat character, which gets her... I mean, the major reason why I'm fleeing is because until the story rolls over, now that the stories roll over, my luck is recharged. So
we're going to do a chapter so anyone can refresh chapter gifts expended. So we're going to pick this up about 2 or 3 days up the river. You guys had no trouble getting back to the Ganvert and negotiating passage. No one seemed to be paying you any particular heed as Connor bought a ferry. Connor, are you going to do this out of pocket, or would you like to start off the chapter by tapping your wealth and using a line of credit to pay for the voyage?
I'll do this out of pocket.
Okay, cool.
A
Leave my
line of
calculator
credit can
up.
be tracked.
Might want to use it now while you still got it. Right. So I'm sorry. You guys mentioned the price for a ferry.
It's 2 dinar a league.
2 dinar a league. All right.
Per
Let's do
person.
some basic math here.
Each one of those squares on the map is 6 leagues.
All right.
But
Okay.
you can also argue he just taps his wealth and then says, "Hey, if you take me, I'm a rich noble. Take me there, and I'll pay you handsomely."
So yeah, I guess if we start from the monastery.
Well-
To put this in terms gamers can understand, I can pay you 2,000 now plus 10,000 when we reach Alderaan.
I guess a monastery is the perfect place to pick up another priest.
Yeah. No, I'll pay for this with my wealth gift. I'll just keep it tapped.
So we're looking at what, 38 leagues? And 3 people?
Yeah. I mean, we buried Gaston, so he doesn't count.
So it's
Yeah, that's gonna take
114 with just the 3 of us.
Are you not going to weekend and Bernie's it?
Yeah, tapping
Well,
the
if
wealth
you
for
were
that, that's
taking
well
him, they would charge for that.
That'd be 114 denarii with just the 3 of us. More with some random priest if we pick one up.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for an introduction, that's all.
Well, yeah, I don't know if you're going to come in on our side, if you're going to come in with Anushka leaving the capital.
Well, you could also randomly be on the boat. You could be the ship's doctor.
Yeah.
People get injured all the time.
Yup. Oh, hey, technical issues.
It's the question of what kind of riverboat it is.
I
because,
do appreciate that when Red has a technical issue, it drops to Rafferty being in the GM camera.
am I the GM now?
Everybody else's camera gets screwed up. I can still lean to the left and have myself back in my camera. Okay, there's Red.
Oh, we're losing people.
Nope, now you're
we
GM
lost
again.
people.
Yeah, so I lean to the left, and I'm still in my thing. Everybody else is chopped off of their cameras, except for Raph, who's now in Red's camera, which is the GM spot.
I'm special.
Oh, it's going to work this time? Hey!
Sorry, guys. First time I've had a full system crash in quite a while.
Happens.
Also,
I mean, you mean just like Discord crashed, yeah.
it wasn't even just Discord. It was a full lockup. And also last week I broke my phone and I haven't had a chance to set up a new phone. So I'm truly like out of touch.
Yeah,
Let me
you
just load
got
the game back up.
gremlins.
Yeah, it happens. Although honestly, I haven't had that in a long time. Anyway, so I apologize. While I was rebooting, I did some quick math. It looks like about 15 leagues up the river to Burges, which is where you guys are going to stop for supplies. Anushka is going to have rejoined you at that point, and also, I wanted to take a moment to talk about this new character of Griffin's, because I think that's where we're going to introduce him. So Griffin, why don't you give us the sort of the opening of the session, personality, goals, motto of your new PC?
Yep, let's do it. Hey everybody, I'm Griffin, and now I'm playing the Doctor, the Armadillo Almoner. He has a phlegmatic personality, and his motto is, first, do no harm, second, get paid.
All right, I like
His
it.
goals are to heal someone's injuries or sickness.
I wonder if we'll run into any of those.
So do we call
And
you
just
the
to
doctor?
explain, and what's that?
So do we call you the doctor?
Yeah,
So you respond to the name of the doctor, is that what you're saying?
that's not a name. The way Anonymous describes it, if you just say like, "Oh yeah, I'm just like a doctor," and you just go, "Hey doctor," it's like, yeah, that's not a name. That's
I don't
just what
know.
you're
There's a
calling me.
difference between being a doctor and being the doctor.
The doctor.
The doctor
I guess
is
it would
a
be
name.
better to say explicitly, "I am Anonymous. I am a doctor, and if you refer to me as a doctor, I will probably be the nearest doctor to you at any time."
According to the Anonymous rules, you have to accept whatever name we give you.
you go.
Exactly. So if ever the easiest thing for people to call me by is obviously like the doctor or that doctor or our local doctor.
A Stinky
Yeah,
McCheese.
he's a doctor.
I like it.
And I guess just to explain what I have, I do in fact have Doctor, I have Anonymous as we described, and I have White Magic.
Awesome. I'm sure that will come in handy at some point.
Right. And I think as we were like discussing, the most likely thing to happen here is that I'm just being paid to be the doctor for this little barge or whatever kind of ship we're on.
I gotta say, I do appreciate the responding to the death of one character with a different thing. Like, you're supposed to learn your lessons from every other failure. I got killed by a stabbing weapon, so I'm gonna have better defenses against magic.
Hey, I mean, I got 3d6 soak now.
Hey, you tough little bugger. All right.
Natural armor. It's nice.
So here's what I was actually thinking. Rather than have you join up on the ferry with the rest of the party, as the ferry pulls into Burges, the Dolorio city, the ferryman has to resupply, tells you all that you'll be ready to make way in 2 hours' time and continue your journey northwards.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, though, you guys are free to explore the wonders that the three-tiered city of Burges has to offer. When you pull into this port, you can see that sort of jutting, carved out of the side of a mountain. Burges is a tiered city. It has sort of the upper platform is where the royalty and nobility live. There's a middle mercantile district. And then at the bottom, the city has kind of sprawled out along the side of this river where you can see there's a lot of lower class housing, residential areas, slums. And the dock worker says basically just keep your head down, stay away from any shady alleys. You'll be fine. We set off in 2 hours. He's a kind of a cadre otter. He says, we'll set off in 2 hours and make sure you're back here by then. I want to shift the perspective over to the doctor, or a doctor, I should say. You are probably in this city basically just making trade, making a living, providing help to those in need of it. There's been some scuttlebutt lately. You've heard some terrible rumors from the south. A small town on the edge of Bisclarve lands was burned. There's rumors that it was an act of it was in response to an act of treason. You've also heard that in the town, the local militia, the local bounty hunters have been abuzz because there is a very hefty bounty that has been placed on several people from Triskellion, from the Rinaldi lands, and there's rumors that they are fleeing the crown, that they may be heading north, and this might be one of the places that they reside. And it is it strikes you that the faces of these strangers are familiar as you see them getting off of the docks, that you had seen them, or sketches that sort of nearly resemble them, placed up in a local tavern. Now, it is up to you what you would decide to do with this situation. We don't know your character yet and like to get to meet them. But I will say that you do know of one safe house in the city, an inn called the Chastity Inn, that is known for taking in basically ex-convicts. The proprietor of the inn is a woman who you believe is a sister for, or was a sister at a convent for Salumer. And you know that the inn has a reputation for basically like harboring those who are currently fleeing, justice, but seeking redemption in the eyes of the of the light. Sorry.
Of course. So
Anyway, you have seen them. A lot of stuff. You have seen these people getting off of their boat, getting some suspicious glances from the dock workers all around them, and you're fairly sure that these people are wanted by the crown. They haven't seen you yet. What is the plan there?
I think my plan here is that I'm going to go ahead and approach them first. When I see them and kind of recognize in the posters, I'll probably notice that Anushka is still incredibly injured, aren't you?
I believe you're not recovering on the road, but I don't really know. I guess you are on a ferry, so maybe you're not doing work.
Wait, there's posters of this?
Okay, so rough travel. We only rough traveled for 3 days, right?
Right. And I don't know if it's rough travel. I mean, I don't know.
It's not a bad. Not a bad.
Yeah.
It is rough. Okay, in which case, I just roll it. I have not recovered anything. In fact, I've backslided.
Oh no!
Yikes.
Okay.
So yeah, Anushka looks very terrible. So I'm going to go ahead and approach and go, my child, or you don't look well at all.
I spray you with mace. I don't know you.
You don't have the spray gift.
I need an adult.
Oh, sorry. I hit you with a mace. I forgot.
There you
donk.
There you go.
Always get that sort of response from people. I'm a doctor. I can help you.
Yeah, I get that from a lot of people.
If you
don't look like a doctor, you don't look like anybody.
What does the doctor look like?
The doctor is, of course, small, unassuming. He's got the very typical brown plates of any armadillo, but he's got maybe like a couple of white blemishes all over it. He's dressed as plainly as can be. He's merely in the he's not in the white robes right now because he's wearing the armor, but he probably has like some very simple white tunic to just go over the top of it.
You're wearing leather, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so dressed for rough weather.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I don't have any money, so
Well, I understand that, but maybe there's ways we can handle that, and even then, it's...
I knew it! You're one of those weirdo perverts who wants to grope me.
The light of Silver must still reach those in need. If you let me, I'd offer it to you for free.
For free. Nothing in this world is free. Nothing worth having is free.
That's true. I'm honestly hoping maybe you'll make some money later. But for now, I know of a place where we could go, sit down, and I can tend to your wounds.
This is really creepy. I mean, it's like, well, normally I just blow this off, but man, that one backslide has not been good at all. Because normally I could just walk off or wing off, I guess.
You can't walk off gangrene, my dear.
Ooh.
Oh, gangrene's no good. Yeah, well, I thought I would have recovered from my strangling, but apparently the gunshot has just made everything worse.
How much progress do you have on that anyway right now?
I just backslid. I have 0.
Oh, okay. I thought you got at least like 1 or 2. I guess you've been doing heavy flying for a while now.
Also, if you botch on one of the rolls, which I did, because it's a body roll every day. So if you sleep in a bed, you get 1 automatic. If you don't sleep in a bed, you roll your body die. And if you roll a 1, you backslide. Because this is Ironclaw, the game that hates you.
Yup.
Well, I shouldn't say hate you. It's Ironclaw, we're not here to impress you. Mm-hmm. So actually it gets worse. Because once again, it was supposed to be if you actually got hurt, you should go get medical care. And I should get medical care, but I don't have any money. So I'm going to have to go talk to Connor.
Free.
You have any skill or bedside manner at all?
I do have inquiry and negotiation and a lot of leadership.
Okay, well, I guess you're not some kind of weirdo. I suppose perhaps customs are different here in Dolo. Are you local to this town?
No, I'm just traveling through, honestly.
No, I mean, what's your like character-wise? What's your accent, and what did you pick as your local area knowledge?
Haven't picked one. Forgot to.
Throwing curveballs here, left and right. Local area knowledge.
Yeah, because your local area knowledge is the hometown you're from.
You know what? Let's say I'm from this hometown.
Then you do have an accent.
Okay,
so
cool.
Maybe it's just your weird customs. I've heard that the weird pagans offer charity to people. Can be nice enough, but you can't have my soul.
I don't need it. Salumere does.
What?
But you know what you probably do need? A drink while we get you some bandages.
You know, that's the
haven't
most
even wrapped these up.
That's the most sensible thing I've heard. Let's go get a drink. I'll go tell Connor that I'm going to go get a drink with this. I didn't catch your name.
I'm just the doctor.
Apparently, a nameless doctor.
Do you need me to come with you?
Come again?
Do you need me to come with you?
Oh, yes, definitely. I think, and this is my friend, a blooded noble of wealth and influence that if anything happened to me, would come by craving righteous vengeance with a sword arm that does not tire and a sense of chivalry that knows no limit.
She should have just said, "This is my boyfriend."
The doctor here is going to kind of like blink twice and go, "Oh, pleasure to meet you, I suppose." Anyway,
I can't say he's my boy. I can't say he's my boyfriend. That would be presumptuous.
Yes.
Incredibly at this point.
I mean, I'm a commoner. He's way out of my league.
Yeah, Connor would offer his hand to the doctor. I am Connor Levere de Clavis. Who may you be? Brother.
One second, I'm just writing down like the area we're in. Connor, then, is it? Well, if you're in need of aid too, well, I suppose you're an experienced fighter, but you don't have any injuries on you, huh?
No, I'm just accompanying my friend here.
He's what we call a good fighter.
And then I guess I have an ultimate recommendation to you, child. Don't fight anyone. Not looking at this damage.
See, that's the best advice I've ever got.
Let these two do it for you. This one is obviously more experienced. That one's twice your size.
If only I had met you several weeks ago.
Anyway, I offered you a drink.
Right.
A drink and some strong medicine. Welcome to this town of Bruges. I mean, like, comparable to Triskellion in scale. The most notable thing when you travel in pagan lands is you may have noticed that they get power from nature. So the weirdest thing about Bruges are the trees. See, normally when you're like in a city, like especially medieval city, it's like every square foot is, should be devoted to something you're actually doing. So the fact that they would actually regularly have trees instead of, I guess, statues or wells or fountains or something like that, it's a little weird.
But very, very nice. It's lovely.
Yeah.
I like that.
And
so
if you
yeah.
have, like a book of mysteries, you get magic power from trees.
Right. If you're one of the blessed or someone who hangs out with them, I guess. So yeah, all right. Where are you guys going to settle down for this drink then? The dock is loaded with taverns of all description, most of them kind of grungy though.
I do believe you mentioned one specifically for harboring criminals.
And we only have 2
There
hours,
is.
so no one far away.
Yep, that sounds like the best place.
That is true. All right. The Chastity Inn is it's kind of on the edge of town in not maybe the best area, although whereas a lot of the buildings in this zone are covered in graffiti or look kind of run down, this particular inn seems very nicely maintained. As you approach it, there's a man wearing what looks to be probably like a monk's clothing. very simple robes. Although the man himself, he's a lynx, in fact. He looks a little bit ragged. He's got a torn ear, well muscled on the arms. That he has his sleeves rolled up, so you can see his forearms. Looks like someone who knows how to handle themselves in a fight, but is currently tilling a small garden out in front of this establishment.
Right, give him a gentle, friendly wave. I've been here before.
Yeah,
I try to convince people to give up their crime.
Yep. He gives you a nod, and then he kind of like looks at the rest of the party and gives them like a squinty, steely-eyed, like watch yourself kind of look. It's not entirely welcoming, but Doctor, you know that these the patrons that kind of live here and work here full time, that work under the sister, as she's known, they can be a little bit protective and a little judgmental. That's something that you found here.
Of course.
Let me just check my notes.
But I'll look back to them and just kind of go, it's all right. Their bark's worse than a bite anyway.
All right. So when you enter in to the inn, you can see you're greeted by Sister Amelia. Sister Amelia is a deer, probably in her like middle age. About she wears the garments and the habit of a member of a convent. In fact, it's strange to see here that she has sort of it's a Salumer, it's an Orthodox House of Penitence getup, which again, as was mentioned, you are in the Delorio lands. You don't see this a lot. Probably near the docks of this city is one of the few places that you would see an establishment or someone dressed in this particular habit. But she recognizes you, Doctor. She says, "Hello, welcome, Doctor. I see you have brought me more wayward souls. Please, we have plenty of room here. Come, sit down. I will fetch water and refreshments, and you can tell us if you need a place to ply your craft, Doctor. If you need, we can offer you a private room for that as well."
As always, and of course, I always appreciate a sermon and a drink. You're always a delight, sister.
Ugh, you flatter me.
I have to pay you somehow.
She looks to the rest of you and she says, well now, addressing Anushka, you look like you have seen better days. Please, this way to the room. Rain. Sorry?
I said I've seen fire and I've seen rain.
Well, you have found a friend here at the Chastity Inn. And she kind of like looks at the other two, Harmon and Connor. She will curtsy to Connor as it is clear of his rank. And she says, "Sir, you honor us with your presence." And to Harmon, she will give him sort of a respectful bow as well and say, "You look like someone who perhaps seeks enlightenment or redemption, if I'm not mistaken. Please, you will find, if you choose to stay with us, you may find that here among my humble flock." She gestures to some of the others around. All of them look like kind of bruisers. They're all wearing that aesthetic habit or robes, and they all seem to be doing just manual cleanup, dusting, sweeping, mopping, that kind of thing.
I mean, I gave her the squint eyes. But what I'm reading her telling me is that I look like a criminal. Despite wearing some of the most expensive armor in the world. And, also...
Very successful criminal.
I also have the body of peak performance. Like, it's...
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how to read it. It's like, are you saying that I'm war cry? I mean, I don't know how to read this, so I just squint eyes and say nothing.
All right. She gives you this patient nod like someone who's used to dealing with, like, trouble children are like the strong silent type. It's very patronizing. Yeah. But anyway, she moves on. She shows you guys to a room, and she says, "Please make yourselves comfortable." There's a low table. Looks like there's no chairs in this place. It's all like floor seating on. They've got these nice little rolled straw mats set up. She says, "I'll be right back with drink, and please make yourselves comfortable." Several moments later, she will return, and she takes a seat at the table with you, and she says, "If you don't mind, I would be very interested to know what befell your companion here. These wounds are quite serious."
Just as a quick check, how long has it been since we got off the boat?
At this point, probably half an hour.
Okay, so an hour and a half left. Not getting fucking left in Rouge.
Did she ask this of Connor?
Nushka.
Okay.
Yeah.
While this is all happening, I will ply my trade.
1 point per success. Looks like 2 successes, 2 points. Not bad.
This is where you pull out your secret trade, pickpocket.
Two points and 2 lifted denarii. So yeah, no. So she's addressing Connor now. She says, like, what befell your companion here? What tragedy has?
I was attacked by a horrible creature. It was in a swamp and reached out with terrible tendrils. And it was squeezing and terrible. And if it's all the same to you, it's such a traumatic experience, I'd rather not recall it, as it leaves me quite shaken to even consider it.
She covers her mouth. She says, "Oh, that's horrible. I'm sorry to have brought up painful memories. Please. And then she kind of will shoot a Harmon a look and say, it is quite unmanly to allow such a sweet and innocent young girl to be placed in such dangerous situations, especially in the company of such brave and capable gentlemen as yourselves."
Are you saying she gives Harmon a look and says that?
Yeah, she seems to have a thing for you.
I'm a strong believer in feminism. I believe anything a man can do, a woman can do as well. At least that's the way I was raised. My mother told me so.
He was not there at the time, and I
Also
was
that.
in the creature's clutches.
Yeah.
I wouldn't blame
her.
her. I wouldn't necessarily blame either of these two either. I mean, this creature was wielding a gun by the looks of it. This is a bullet wound.
Hey, I gave a lot. You should see the other monster.
I do enjoy the like if it was a TV show, the recollection keeps fading back. Like, oh, it was a monster in the woods, and you see something like a bunch of tentacles flying out.
And
oh,
it
this
had
looks
a
like
gun.
a gunshot wound. And you see tentacles with a gun.
Waving guns. Oh, that's great. Yeah. All right. She smiles at the various chiming in of all of this, and she says, "Of course, and I wasn't there. I should not presume. But I would advise that you take this girl to see one of the city doctors. They have excellent medical staff, and they could treat her there until she's fully recovered. Surely, doctor, you know of the best places in town."
I'm sorry, what kind of bar is this that we came in to get chastised for all of our previous concerns?
Yeah.
Oh, you came into the sisters' bar here, of course. Where else?
It's a weird one. Yeah, it's a weird one. I mean, really tavern more than bar. You're not sure they even serve like real alcohol or drinks. You basically were served water, maybe with like a little wine in it. But generally speaking, this is not a rowdy place. In fact, it feels like you walked into a convent. And yeah, you're right. She's being nosy and snoopy, and she gives a little like a demure bow and says, like, "Of course, it is not my place. You will find your own ways. Any friend of the doctor's is a friend of ours, and you're welcome to spend as much time here to rest and recuperate as you so desire. We serve dinner, free meals every night and in the morning. And we do have enough spare beds for all of you if you decide to rest here. So and then she'll excuse herself from the room.
Well, busybody. Well, you've been so helpful, but we have to get back to our dread errands. Isn't that right?
Dread errands, indeed.
Indeed it is.
Unfortunately, I think the people who are looking for you already know where you're going.
How do you know this? Are you an agent for them? I'll cut you.
And I'll just literally hold up like one of the wanted posters that has Connor's face on it. And you're very recognizable and even have a title. And then also address yourself in such a way. I mean, if you're going to hide, I think that's kind of a terrible way to do it.
Is a wanted? What do you mean wanted? Who signed off on this? Is there
Good question. Deal? I didn't look at it.
Yeah, I didn't really look at it. It looks like currently it is being offered by the I guess it is officially marked by the Royal Guard Captain of Rinaldi, who you know is this De La Vega fellow. It does not have a royal seal, and it also is the kind of thing where it's a bounty and not like an order of arrest or anything like that. If it was fulfilled, it would be fulfilled by one of the constabulary, or you would turn the bounty over to the constabulary of Burges.
How high is their bounty?
That is a very good question. And here now I'm a little bit gun shy because the last time I pulled a number like that out of my butt, I gave you guys a ridiculous amount. Yeah, it's a bajillion trillion dollars, denarii.
I guess here's the question: how many weeks worth of effort do you think these people are worth, or does the guard captain think they're worth?
I mean, to put this in perspective, in the basic adventure, a known, not regicide, a known killer of nobles had a bounty of 9 Orioles, 9 gold coins for his live capture and 5 for his head.
Gotcha.
I think the Orioles were like 12 denarii.
24.
24.
So it would be about 50 denarii
for 2. They kind of like, you know.
Right. I think these are just people who have had the gall to say no to the captain of the guard.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, he still has some power to flex, but I would say an Oriole per head is probably pretty. That feels right to me. He wants you bad to the best that his authority will extend to him.
The problem with a single Oriole is that would be like 24 dinar or 12 days of skilled labor. So if it's a single like Oriole, that's pathetic. Because like by the time, remember, it cost us like how much
then again,
money?
There's 3 people who are traveling together, or 4 maybe if there's a Gaston one.
Yes, so
strange. Why isn't he here with you?
I mean, the bounty's got to be worth their while to go ahead and get. I mean, all right. So we're like 36 leagues out of Triskellion.
That looks about right, I guess.
Right. So the further away you get from the city, the less valuable this is.
The mere cost of transporting one person all the way back to the city is 72 dinar. Or
damn, yeah, that's a good point.
Is that right? 324? Yeah, right.
It just says plus travel expenses underneath.
It seems more likely than that they would probably make some sort of deal with whoever place that they're putting up these papers at. Like, you hold on to them, we'll pay you, and then we'll retrieve them, sort of deal.
Right. Prisoners for gold now.
Also, quick question: is there a poster for me? Since I came in after he left.
Okay.
There's no poster for Harmon.
Right, since I came in after the guy left, so
yeah. So it would be Connor. It would probably be Anushka. If they realize Gaston is dead, there wouldn't be his there, and that's it.
Yeah. And in order for that to work, you'd have to
maybe the mayor of Magecross.
So somebody wanders out of Germany, wanders into France, and says, I'm putting up posters all around France as a bounty for someone someone wanted in Spain.
Hmm.
And I'm going to offer awards for them, and I'm going to put this up in your country. The French people might say, "Hey, we all know that Germany and hates Spain and that kind of stuff, but we kind of frown upon you."
Yeah.
So it's a long shot.
Right.
I think that's probably the best way to put it.
And it's less of like they're not stomping into the Delorio territory and being like, "Hey, this is royalty. We want these guys. Just get them to us. We're not going to do anything. Like, we're not going to pay anything for it. It's our right to have it." It feels like it makes sense that their authority would extend such that they're like, "Hey, we want these guys. We're basically going to offer a reward for them. Respectfully, if your bounty hunters turn them over to your authority, we will come and collect them from you." And this is not like overstepping that sort of boundary that we have.
Della Vega would have to have agents here in town somehow.
Mm-hmm. Or,
so
I would say.
It seems more like an Interpol delegating responsibility to a local authority.
Yeah, like they would have the local constabulary just like hold them, like how I imagine it happens in like all westerns and stuff. Is like bounty hunter brings them into the local sheriffs, and then the feds come and take them away.
Right, but that's why I pointed out, like in a western, you would be in the U.S. having U.S. law applying to the U.S.
Right,
you've gone from like this would be like France agreeing to hold a Spanish citizen for a bunch of Germans to arrest him.
That's why I used the Interpol as an example.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Well, except Interpol is also a 20th century conceit, and also Interpol doesn't actually have the authority to hold anyone. I did a lot of research on this.
Well, no, Interpol. That's what I'm saying. Interpol would rely on a local authority. That's what I was saying.
Right, but this is the Middle Ages. It's kind of like the Doloro aren't friends with either.
Right. Typically, if that was the case, we'd be talking about like a crusader force, but that'd be church-related, not government.
Anyway,
it's right. Being this blatant about it's a little weird, especially if Della Vega is doing this. It gets even more complicated because that's why I asked: is the Rinaldi seal on this? Is Della Vega putting up these wanted posters? I hate to like.
Yeah, it didn't have a royal seal, so no, he's just doing on his own initiative here.
Yeah, I don't want to harsh the buzz of the story here. I just.
Also the implication being that he sent messengers out in a whole 3-day radius everywhere because he doesn't know exactly where we're going or where we're at.
And in fact, that's also a little weird that he would know that we would be in Burges. So I appreciate that.
Well, yeah, it has to be a whole radius that he sent these things out in.
Yeah, I appreciate the constructive criticism as well. And I'll say for my part, this is probably the most research I've ever done for a game. I still don't have a lot of knowledge of the setting, especially compared to everyone else sitting at the table. I'm proud that we have not run into more circumstances like this one. So, and I honestly, if I could just sit back here and listen to you guys talk about the politics of Calabria all day for 4 hours, I totally would. I think it's fascinating.
Well, it's also a question of like relative, narrative. Realism, like any setting would have this.
Well, from my perspective, I'm not giving you criticism. I am figuring out how the world works and trying to make what you've said reality, and then figuring out how to deal with that reality.
Very true. I think, I will say that I think this group is the most attentive to detail, and you guys really believe in this world and you want it to make sense, and I fully respect that. So that's why I'm enjoying it. Let me walk you through my thought process, and let's come up with something that makes sense to everybody. And normally I would probably hold this back because I think it maybe falls into metagaming a little bit, but for the sake of it making sense, in my mind, Della Vega is the one who has serious beef with you. As far as the king is concerned, he's never even met you guys. He doesn't give a crap. Della Vega is a very spiteful. The king also has issues with being spiteful and vindictive, but you guys don't even register. Della Vega is in a position where he is consistently being, belittled, and he's very ambitious, and he's a bad guy. He's a villain. I mean, if it's not clear by the fact that he's wearing like, you know, an eye patch, he's a bad guy. So in this, he has a personal vendetta against the group that interrupted his plans of burning Mage Cross. He burnt it anyway, but this is a personal pride thing for him. So my interpretation is that.
Yeah, no, I would agree. It could be that there are bills here, which would be expensive to print, but Della Vega has money, saying they're looking for if you have any. But it would be more like if you have any information about this Connor person, please tell Mr. Fake Name.
Gotcha. Okay.
Address. It would be more like instead of saying we want to arrest him, it's like, hey, have you seen someone who looks like this? And also the problem of making those bills is now this is where it gets Ironclaw specific. A lot of people aren't literate, especially criminals. So there could be bills out this, but you have a crude picture of them, and then possibly a note if you know maybe in text for people who are literate, saying, hey, if you've seen this guy, come tell Mr. Fake Name about it. We will pay you in true coin.